Hello humans, peoples, others, patrons of my inn, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing DnD memes from r/DnD Memes, because I can't find any, well, I do know of another quiz, so we're at it, and thus we shall do that one, and tomorrow it'll be r/me, lgbt, and all that, but today's DnD memes, because I want to. So I guess onwards into the video. Alright, let's see. Um, Which way, wisdom player?
My child will use their weakest abilities when mind-controlled against party members.
Vow of Enmity, Great Weapon Master, Divine Smite. Boom, like 60 damage immediately. Whoever is on the other end of that is all but dust. And yeah, that sometimes it be like that. It's very, technically, very in character with mind control for them to use their strongest abilities like that. So either way, I'm fine with my players going. I really love it when they try to go all out with when mind control though. But alas, to the next meme. Let's see. Maybe I'm just crazy, but it weirds me out that these are the same creature type. Let's see. Other undead, reanimated dead bodies, souls are elsewhere, afterlife, heart, phylactery. Made by a necromancer or are necromancers. And then you have ghosts, has no body to animate, soul is right there, just kinda shows up after death. Even though there are technically other kinds of spirits that are enemies, like wraiths, shadows, wisps. So it makes sense that they're all considered undead because they're all also just dead creatures that are in some way no longer just dead creatures. But I can also see why it's kind of confusing. I would love if D&D did like two, so you could have like two monster types on a creature, so it's like you can have a humanoid undead and then a not humanoid undead. So wisps would be like a monstrous undead, and then you have zombies and skeletons being humanoid undead and all that. But alas, I suppose, to the next meme. Let's see. I don't blame players at all for this. I just think it's a bit of a shame it turned out this way in the hobby. Cleric PCs emulating a Christian priest, instead of emulating a priest from a polytheistic religion. Yeah, I noticed that. It's interesting because the polytheistic priests are insane. It's awesome. And I'd love to see clerics played that way. But also, it's culture and stuff. We see a priest as a Christian priest and not any other kind. Or not even just Christian, any monotheistic priest. But yeah, I suppose to the next meme. Emotional damage. Who would win? A balanced party of 4 level 3 adventurers versus 4 bread mimics rolling nat 20 3 times. Unfortunately, the bread mimics would win. That's such an awesome concept. Bread mimics. I should use that. I should use bread mimics against my players. They'll cry, but it'll be funny. Also, balanced, I could see that if those pictures are meant to reflect what the classes of their party are, yeah, that's a very balanced party, actually. Unfortunately, the bread mimics would win because of how mimics work. I'm assuming the mimics also got a surprise round if they're bread. But alas, to the next meme. Let's see. I would not be upset if I were one of those 4 girls, lol. Game time. Same here, probably. Gonna ask 4 separate girls on dates to the same place at the same time, and when they arrive and realize what has happened, I'm gonna come out and try to talk them into playing Dungeons and Dragons. Sounds like a great time. The date part, I don't want to do a date ever, because we'll see how I feel about that after transition and all that, but you know. I would love to just play D&D more, but alas, my players are all busy all the time. So, I wouldn't mind being one of those 4 girls. But yeah, to the next meme. Never ask a council of mages what the least ethical wizard school is. Wizards and sorcerers are natural enemies, like wizards and warlocks, or wizards and other wizard schools. Damn the wizards, they ruined arcane study. You wizards sure are contentious people. You just made an enemy for life. I mean, yeah, that's kind of just how wizards end up being. I don't like how wizards are interpreted that way sometimes. Sometimes it's really funny though. But beyond that, I feel sorcerers are also very contentious people. But the least ethical wizard school, enchantment or illusion. Probably enchantment, if that's the one I'm thinking of, with the spells to mind control. Because necromancy can be bad, but mind control is just an inherently wrong thing. So I suppose, to the next meme. Alright, let's see. Apparently teleportation is lame now? This fluffin' sucks, actually. R slash DnD Memes poster. Pathfinder 2, fighter teleporting themselves in and enemies. That's actually such a cool concept. I suppose I'm going to lore dump a little about my world, specifically Elistara, the Ascendant of Freedom, if you've seen the lore videos. One of her abilities in her final form, because she has 5 forms, think like a Goku almost, but different because it's weird. In this form, she summons a version of herself from another universe. Her and that version can freely open portals between each other, and thus will do a almost dance fighting where they teleport around through these portals to fight to fight enemies. So it's just like I inherently love the idea of freely teleporting during battle. Seems like such a cool idea, and that picture makes it look even cooler. I don't know what people are on about. I'm so glad I never look into discourse. So to the next meme. Let's see. I call them like I see them. Polyhedral TTRPG dice. Tism prisms. I like the second name. I specifically for D20s, it's an isosahedron. That's the name of the shape it is. I have a couple D20s around me actually. Though, I can do these as posts and stuff later, but if you really want to see some freaky die, I have a D30, a D24, a D7, a D5, and a D16, which are all Tism prisms technically. They have no inherent use for D&D, but they're awesome, and I have them, and we'll see what I do with them. I might post them in posts later. Alas, to the next meme. Let's see. I love this spell so much. You should switch your playstyle so D&D doesn't get boring. Me every time I play a cleric, 3rd level spells. Spirit Guardians. Spirit Guardians are one of my favorite cleric spells as well. Don't play cleric much though. I like sorcerers, and people will tend to mock this one, but I love rangers. Specifically, the Drake Warden subclass is my favorite. And Baldur's Gate 3 did rangers so good to me. But yeah, other than that, my favorite 3rd level spell slot, Firewall, obviously, if we're trying to be boring. And then if we're just going overall favorite spell, Polymorph's awesome. I don't know what, though. I'd have to have the whole list of spells in front of me, which I don't right now. So to the next meme. Let's see. 3 years and we are finally close to playing D&D. Me looking at my party when we are finally about to fight a dragon in a dungeon after 3 years of playing. So I suppose, yeah, that's fair. You almost never fight dragons in dungeons. Consider though, you could fight a dungeon and a dragon. If that makes any sense to anyone else. But beyond this, I've never fought a dragon in a dungeon. Well, technically, that depends on what you're considering. Because if you count the dragon's lair as a dungeon, then you almost always fight a dragon in a dungeon. Or you should almost always be fighting a dragon in a dungeon. Because why would they ever leave their lair? But yeah, beside that, I suppose, very fair. To the next meme. Let's see. How do I be consulting the cleric when the enemy attack rolls are averaging 20 plus? Y'all got any AC buffs? We got Bless. I don't think Bless is gonna be good enough for you. Though, I find buffing AC, it's a very slippery slope, because I've ended up with players with over 30 AC. Yeah, I have to buff monsters a whole lot for that. It's an issue, and I'm trying my best to limit that as much as possible. It's just that player really loves min-maxing AC. Alas, no amount of AC can save you from the power of magic and missile. I guess. But I suppose this will probably be the last meme for the video. I actually really liked doing these. I'll talk about that in the outro, so yeah, to the outro. And thus we reach the out of the video, so we shall, I guess, comment your favorite D&D spell, or just overall spell from anything. And subscribe if you want. Beyond that, again, I hope you enjoyed. So, and I actually really liked recording these particular memes and stuff. So I might do DnD memes a lot more. Out of sheer it's fun, and almost more. How do I put it? With the LGBT memes, they kind of just end up being the same thing a lot. So we'll keep doing them. I like to keep looking for more unique ones amongst the subreddits, but it's harder. And yeah, so thank you all for 100 subs and all that. And bye.